Okay. Last session of the last day of sessions. So we're there. We're almost done. So good job. I hope to be pretty entertaining. So hopefully you'll stay, awake, because I know last night I went home and collapsed. I was so tired. If, like I said earlier, there's the link if you want to go and follow along or save this. Like I said, I have a folder that I house all of my technology presentations in. To introduce myself, my name is Mindy Pope. I teach at Stephenville High School. I teach theater. This will be my 18th year there. I do have a background in English as well. And what inspired me with using technology in my classroom is the year that I decided to start just getting my feet wet and doing it, I saw a huge difference in the engagement level of my kids. And you're probably like, okay, but Mindy, you teach theater, they love theater. No, only half of my kids love theater. The ones taking my advanced classes, my tech and varsity classes, oh, they're there, they're ready, they love it. The other half of the kids I teach are the ones that don't want to sing, dance, play an instrument, or draw, but they got to have a fine arts credit to graduate. And so I have the same struggle as all other teachers have with making sure the kids feel engaged and making them feel like what we're doing is relevant. And I work really hard to do that. And technology tools have really helped me in that regard. And so today we're going to talk about using specifically Google tools for collaborative learning, because it's free. And I have very few problems with it. And when I do, we usually get the problem solved. And for us, because we're a Google school, we have access to all these tools. The kids all have a Gmail address. It's awesome. So, all right. My suggestion would be, and this is how I started, when I started just trying to get my feet wet, don't try to recreate everything. You're going to get tired. You're going to bog yourself down. Start small, especially if you feel a little intimidated with really jumping in with lots and lots of digital tools. So don't be afraid to pick like one lesson or one unit that is your tried and true lesson, and you're going to incorporate some digital collaborative projects in it. And then when you get some confidence built, then you'll continue, and before long you'll be like me, and like every unit I've got to have that really fun collaborative project that my kids are going to do. I don't give tests anymore. And I have found it, I didn't think that was, I thought, I gotta give them a test. How will I know if they learned anything if I don't test them? When they create together or individually a project like this, I see if they learned. I see the evidence. These were some of the concerns or doubts that I had before I got started with this. Well, I don't have budget for a bunch of technology. Well, the kids have phones. And even, we are blessed to be going to one-to-one this year, but even before then, we had phones and the kids used them. I was resourceful. Our math department had 15 iPads that they weren't really using very often. I used them quite a bit. I don't have time for that. Once you start creating these things, you will find that you'll have more time, because you're putting more of the work in the hands of the kids, which is good because they're doing instead of just listening and watching you. What if I look stupid? Well, you're probably going to look stupid at some point anyway. So why not do it with experimenting and trying something new? I have found that my kids, I've not had a single kid laugh at me for messing up something in technology. Now, they might laugh with me, but I've not had any mean, pointing, ugly laughing at me. So what if it doesn't work? Or what if my students lose confidence in me? I think my kids have more confidence in me because I'm willing to admit to them, this is the first time I'm trying this, or this is new to me. And they respect that. They respect somebody saying, I'm just learning this too. If you see a better way to do it, let me know. They have a lot of respect. I've had some lessons that didn't work, and it wasn't a technology fail. It was just I tried something, didn't quite work out the way I thought. I was very comfortable with telling the kids, I appreciate the attempt. I appreciate you going on this journey with me. Everyone gets a blanket 100 for being on the trip, and we're going to move on. I was not going to beat the dead horse, so we moved on. What if I lose confidence in myself? You won't. You'll gain confidence in yourself if you just take the adventure and do it. And what about all these lessons I already have and made, and they're ready and they're easy? Yeah, but are they good for the kids? Because it is why we're here, is to do things that are good for the kids. So these were all my doubts. I experienced all those. I got over it. First thing you probably need to do is ask yourself, what are your learning goals? So are these your learning goals? Students will create an exact image of what the teacher intended. I want it to look exactly like this, and that's what I want them to create. Sometimes, yes, that is what we want. Students are able to repeat verbatim the material that I presented to them. I want them to be able to write down word for word the definition of this and that. A perfect product or presentation is created. It's got to be perfect. I don't want them to mess up any or ams, or I want it to look really polished, okay? Not that this sometimes might not be your goal, but if this is always your goal, you might want to reassess. So you might want to look and ask yourself, well, are my goals maybe, I want my students to use the information that I taught to create, design, present a unique viewpoint. So take what I'm teaching them and then tell me what they thought about it, or how they would use it, or how it applies to them. Students discover information themselves and inform others, including me, of what they've learned in a way that excites them. I love it when we do a project and I learn something from the kids, and I have no fear of telling them, I didn't know that. Awesome, thank you, I learned something. Students believe that their ideas, creations, and viewpoints are valid and worthwhile. Just building them up and letting them know, hey, what you are doing and who you are is important. And what you're believing and the creations that you're making have value. So give the students an audience for their work. And I know that may seem easy for theater, but I think anytime, even if the audience is their peers in the class, if the audience is an elementary school class, if the audience is their parents, boy, they care a whole lot more when they know other people are going to look at it. So here's some examples of audiences: their peers, their school, their community, or even the world, especially if you're going to end up putting it on YouTube or something like that. So select what information you want to cover, decide what your learning goals are, figure out who the audience is for what they're going to create, and then you have to ask yourself, well, what tool am I going to use? And I would recommend using Google Apps. Why Google? Best thing I think about Google, it automatically saves your work. And you know where it is. You know, you don't have to worry, like, kid, why did you name it KRL? You know, like, or why did you name it something goofy? We can find it if it's in Google Drive. So I love that. I love that I know where my stuff is. I know where they save their stuff, even when they don't know where they save their stuff. I know where it is. The skills that you learn using one tool applies to them all. So it's not like, oh, I learned Docs and now I've got to tackle Sheets. Hey, a lot of what you learned in Docs is going to go right into Sheets. So that's really wonderful, building on it. We can work together on projects at the same time in different locations. I love that. I had students working on things at home, and then they'd send me an email or they'd do a Google Hangout and say, will you look at this and see